Chapter 10. Alignment's Shadow. The first sign wasn't the clouds, it was the silence. Vern's streets, usually alive with merchants' shouts and the jangle of wagon chains, grew still, as if the city itself were holding its breath. Then the sky began to change. Unnatural clouds, darker than molten pitch, swirled above, dragging shadows across the cobblestones. Jagged cracks split the shroud like shattered glass, showing impossible realms beyond, a desert where lightning fell upward, a frozen ocean holding titans in suspended agony, a sky of 3 suns burning blood red. On the council hall's marble steps, Lysara stood in armor polished to a mirror's edge, violet ribbons fluttering in the unnatural wind. Her voice carried like a blade through the crowd. The alignment is upon us, and if we falter now, Vern will be the first city devoured. Her gaze locked with each faction leader in turn, Ethercan archers in silver lamellar, Stormbinder mages with eyes alight from inner storms, Hollow Guard warriors draped in bone-pale cloaks. The crowd stiffened under her words, fear tempered into resolve. From behind her, Zirin felt it the invisible shift when despair turns to fury. It was a dangerous thing, and the only thing that could save them. In the war room, the artifact pulsed on its cradle like a living heart. Silas worked with the focus of a surgeon adjusting the silver lattice around the core. It will work, he said, hands never still. But the backlash will bind the soul of the one who channels it. There will be no return. The words struck heavier than any blade. Zirin's jaw tightened. Then we choose carefully. Later, on the tower's balcony, the wind whipped at Zirin's coat as the city lights flickered below. The shard, it's heavier, he admitted. Sometimes I think it's not a weapon in my hand, it's holding me. Lysara stepped closer, her voice low. Then we turn it against its fate. You are not its prisoner. Their hands brushed just enough for him to feel the warmth of her gauntlet against his skin, before the city's alarms split the night. The first wave hit the city gates like a living storm. Chronivants surged forward warriors whose forms shimmered between moments, every movement leaving afterimages in the air. Their blades bent reality, making strikes arrive before the swing began. Behind them, the flux advanced as shifting silhouettes, stealing the faces of allies and striking from within the confusion. The air thickened with distortion, smelling of burning stone and cold iron. Zirin met the charge head-on. The shard roared in his grasp, its edge cutting not just flesh but the very time around his foes, freezing their momentum before shattering it. To his right, Lysara's cords lashed out arcs of blue energy, snaring enemies mid-leap, dragging them to the ground where her heel crushed their armor. Her voice rose over the din, barking orders that turned scattered pockets of defenders into a single, coordinated wall. Silas stayed in the center, his hands weaving notes through the air. Each cord bloomed into a protective barrier, deflecting blades and dissolving shadow strikes before they could reach the civilians being evacuated. From the largest rift, the flux leader emerged, an immense shape swaddled in flowing darkness that writhed like living ink. Its face was a void rimmed with teeth of light. Silas thrust the artifact toward Zirin. Now or never. The shard met the artifact's core. A scream pure and inhuman split the air as a column of white gold light erupted outward. It tore through the battlefield, peeling the flux apart into drifting motes, their stolen faces dissolving into nothing. The Chronovants staggered, their time-warped bodies snapping back into mortal form before disintegrating into mist. The leader resisted longest, its shadow form splintering with each pulse of light, until the final blast shattered it like glass under a hammer. When the light faded, the street was littered only with debris and scorched stone. No bodies, no shadows. The Flux and Chronovants were gone erased, as if they had never existed. Above, the shroud's cracks sealed with a slow ripple, leaving the unnatural clouds hanging heavy, their presence a reminder that the alignment was far from over.